Is this jig perhaps the greatest woodworking jig ever created? That's up for you to decide. What's up YouTube? I am Billy back in the shop here. This is a completely impromptu video. Every time I make picture frames, I use this particular jig, and every time I post a picture or a video, I get flooded with questions about how to make this. So I am here to answer some of those questions. That way you can make one of these and start making some awesome picture frames. First off, there are two things I need to go over. The first one is I did not invent this jig. I saw David Picciuto make this from Make Something. I also saw it in Fine Woodworking magazine, and I looked at it and I said, okay, how can I make this for my shop? And then I figured it out. So I do not offer plans for sale on how to make this. I just didn't feel right about selling plans on something that I didn't create. Second, I am not going to make this sled in front of you. I already have one, and I have no need for a second one, so you're not gonna see me cut boards. Instead, I'm gonna go over every aspect of this and measurements, all in detail, to try to answer as many questions as possible. But I promise you, if I make a second one, I'll film it. So let's start off with, why do you need this jig? Well, if you make a lot of picture frames, this is gonna be a lifesaver for you. What you know is that you have to have a rabbet on the inside, and that's gonna hold the glass, then you put the picture, then you put some sort of backer board over that to hold the picture in place. Now, based off that rabbet and then the thickness of your picture frame, that really determines how long the sides have to be. So for instance, if you're gonna make an 8x10 picture frame, then that means that it's gonna hold an 8x10 picture inside, and then the measurements for the outside shape of that can vary widely. It depends on how you made the frame itself. So what this does is it takes away all of that math. All you have to do is register the board up against this metal fence that we have. You cut a 45-degree angle. You flip the board over and you register it against the stop block. And the stop block can be moved. So I can put it at 8 inches, clamp it down. I put my board up here. I push it through, it cuts the other 45-degree angle. Now, it doesn't matter what my rabbet was. It doesn't matter how deep it was, how wide it was. None of that matters. What I know is that that board is gonna hold an 8-inch photo. Whenever I'm cutting picture frames, I cut a rabbet on the back. Now, what this sled does is it has a ruler and it is slightly elevated up. And what that does, it allows me to register it in this rabbet. I can push the rabbet up against the metal ruler, move my piece over, cut it, and it will cut the 45-degree angle. This side is also elevated. I can then flip my board over, put it up against my stop block that's cut at a 45-degree angle, push it through, and it cuts the other side. Now, I have a perfect piece. Now that you know why you need to make this sled, let's talk about how you make it. To start off with, we're gonna make runners. So what I did was I took some scrap pieces that I had, this is just some walnut, and I milled it down so that it was just thick enough and wide enough to fit into the slots of my table saw. My runners are about 2 feet long, so 24 inches, you'll stick them inside the slots on your table saw. They don't have to be perfectly lined up, just the best that you can do. And what you'll notice is, this one is gonna seem super long, this one, it might be fine. It depends on how big you make your board. Don't worry about any of that. We can always trim those off later. I am going to remove the stop block for right now so we can talk about the board itself. So what I did was I took a 1/2-inch piece of plywood. This piece is 30 inches long, 15 inches wide. The whole measurement here is completely based off of what you want. You don't have to use the size that I used. What I found though is this typically works for me in the picture frames that I make, which are small to medium. The largest one I've made on this was about 46 inches long. It's a pretty good sized picture frame. I had no problem with the 30-inch capacity. When attaching your board to your runners, you want to have a good 45-degree angle to the blade, but don't kill yourself on this. It honestly does not matter. The only thing that matters is this guide, which you're going to add later. So don't sweat it. Here's how I aligned my board to my runners. I put my runners down and I tilted my board so that the corner here was right at that saw blade. So that saw blade would cut right down the corner. The back corner here, I moved my table saw fence over until it touched this corner. When I'm ready to attach the board to the rails, what I did was I grabbed a big square. I can put that square up against my fence and up against my plywood, put some CA glue on my rails, drop my plywood on top of it, hold it down for a minute to let it dry. So right now you should have 2 rails and a piece of plywood stuck to it. Okay, so now we're gonna cut a kerf into that plywood. And this is gonna be the first step in all the alignment process. So I raised my blade up, I move my jig out away from the blade, turn it on, and then I cut through my jig 8-9 inches. It really is up to you. The depth in which you cut is going to be based off of how wide of picture frames do you make. Do you make little skinny frames? Well, if you do, you don't need to have a big wide section up here in front of your metal ruler. If you cut bigger stuff, maybe you want to have a big wide section. That's completely up to you. In my case, I cut about an 8 to 9 inch kerf. Make sure you don't cut all the way through your board. It's easy to do. Look how far I've cut mine. Don't cut all the way through your jig. Everything that's special about this jig really comes down to alignment. And to do that, we need to have 2 pieces here that are aligned 45 degrees to our blade. So what I did was I bought an aluminum Empire straight edge or a ruler, one that has the numbers on it. If you don't have the numbers, you could always just draw them on here. You could use like the sticky tape number ruler thing. It's fine. I took that long ruler and right at the very tip, the 0 mark, I cut at my miter saw a 45 degree angle, took that little chunk, threw that away. At the other end, at about 27 inches, because that's where my board ultimately stops at, I cut just a straight 90 degree. Just something so that I don't have a big piece of metal hanging way off of the table. It's really up to you. If you want to build a Frankenstein long sled, you can make this as long as you want. I took the offcut from this side. After I cut it at 27 inches, all the remaining part, that's over here. I just flipped it over so you don't see the numbers. If I flip this back over, you would see 28, 29, 30, 31, blah, 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 blah. I just flipped it over. After cutting my ruler, my next step is to start attaching them. And I started with the short side. I just felt like that was going to be much easier for me to get aligned than the long side. So what I did was I took that 45 degree angle that I cut and I moved it up and I moved it just close to my blade. The distance really isn't that important unless you have a saw stop. If you have a saw stop, you want to make sure you give yourself enough space from your blade because you don't want to trip your saw, or turn that feature off on your saw if you can do that. What you'll notice is my straight edge is elevated, and it's elevated about 1/8 of an inch off of my plywood, and that's because I put a piece of hardboard underneath that. I took a piece of hardboard and I cut it to about 1 inch wide so that if the hardboard is flush against this side, it's not flush here. I still have a gap. I could put my finger in there. And that's on purpose. See, I can slide my ruler all the way through. That's on purpose because we're gonna add a stop block over to this side and it's gonna slide in and out. So it's a 1 inch wide piece of hardboard that is double-sided taped to my aluminum straight edge. I then took the straight edge over to the drill press and I drilled 1 hole right over here. You can drill the back one for now, but what you're gonna do is you're only gonna attach the 1 screw first to your plywood. So what I did was I brought my straight edge up to my blade. Once I got it up to my blade, can take a square and line everything up and make sure that it's square. Then I can tighten this screw here. Don't do any back here, just the one. Tighten this up nice and snug so that if you swivel it, it takes a little bit of force to do so. Then you take a scrap block. You've got your rabbet, come up here, cut your 45 degree angle. Measure your 45 degree angle and see if it's on. If it's not spot on, then you push this either way until it is. Once it is, then you tap in the other screw. Here's how to determine if your piece is square. Take your square, take a combination square, register it against this side and this side up here. Take your newly cut workpiece, push it up on this, push it against your combination square. You should see no daylight here, no daylight here. If you do, you got to adjust something. If all of this is tight, that part's good to go. Now we're going to get to the point that's going to drive you mad. But I promise you, once you get through this, you're going to feel so good. Oh, it's going to feel so good. This, aligning this part, is going to be a pain in the butt probably. Just is. If you look at mine, you'll see I got all kinds of holes. And there's not screws in some of them. It's because I had to finagle this. I had to dial this thing in. I had to make a couple picture frames and figure it out. But I'm going to show you what I did, so hopefully that will save you a bit of time. I used the same 1-inch wide hardboard, and I double-sided taped it to my aluminum ruler. Drilled a couple holes all the way down, but did not attach to my plywood yet. Again, you're just drilling at like the drill press over your workbench. Before I attached this straight edge, I took a ruler. Take that little tip and put it up against the tip of one of your teeth, and then I wrote with a pencil. 1, 2, 3, corresponding with my ruler here. Those are just registration. You can use it with a pencil and erase it later. It's not important. What's important is, for me at least, is to try to align the number 2 to the number 2 that I wrote. So what I did was, using one of the holes that I drilled, I moved my straight edge up against my blade. Once again, used a combination square to press it up against to try to get this piece at a 45-degree angle. At the same time, I want to try to align the 2 to the number 2 that I wrote, the 1 to the number 1 that I wrote. What you might find is you might have to trim this a little further back. It depends on how far away you put your ruler to your blade. I don't have a saw stop. I could put mine right up on the kerf. Makes it much easier for doing all of this registration. If you move yours further back, just know you might trim more of this away. Once I know that my number 2 is aligned with my number 2 here, 1's aligned with 1, 3's aligned with 3, however many you want to do, put that screw in, tighten it down just like you did on the short side. You don't have to do any more further this way yet. You just want to have this side tight. Sometimes you screw up. Look at that. There's a hole right there. I screwed up. I took the screw out. I tapped a new screw. It's all good. Remember this piece that we cut? We cut it when we tested this side. And we got this side absolutely perfect. We then move it and we register it against this fence. And we do the same thing. We cut. And we do it until this is at a 45-degree angle. Once it is, then you can put screws in the rest of your straight edge. All right, so I told you all of that. I'm going to tell you an alternative method you could use. You could skip all that measurement too. Simply, you could take this straight edge, flip it over on the back side where it's blank, line it up at a 45-degree to your blade, screw it in, then go back and add one of those stick-on rulers or just write the numbers on the ruler, and you don't have to do any measurements and any alignment that way. The only thing you have to worry about is making it 45 degrees. That's going to save you a whole lot of time. If you did everything right, what you should have now is a plywood board connected to 2 runners with a straight edge that has been cut in half. Part of it is over on this side, and that's at a 45-degree angle to the blade. Part of it's over on this side, and that's at a 45-degree angle to the blade. You might have a couple things you need to trim off. Your runners might be a little long. You can trim those off. Your metal pieces might be hanging out, or the hardboard might be hanging out. Just use a handsaw, quickly cut that off. You're good to go. So now we're going to add a stop block, and a stop block makes this thing stupid simple. This is my stop block. Really simple. It's just a little square of 1/2-inch plywood that I ran over the table saw so that I had a lip here that is an 1/8 inch thick, and that fits right underneath my ruler. I then took that piece and I cut a 45-degree angle. You can use a miter saw for that. You could use your brand new sled for that. The depth of this cut is really up to you on how much stability you want. Mine's about 5/8. Now, I can take this lip and I can slide it right underneath my ruler. It can jiggle a little bit. That's cool, no big deal. Then I bought one of these. Just one of those quick clamps. They come in different designs. All that matters is that I can clamp it down right on my ruler, and now my piece doesn't go anywhere. What's great is I can slide this, and where this little cut right here is, I put that right on my line. So I can put that at 6, clamp this down, and I know that my 45-degree angle is just a little bit past it. So whenever I put together my frame, that gives me about a 1/16 of an inch wiggle room for some expansion and contraction. If you don't want that, just move it up a little bit closer. Move it to your 45-degree angle, touches the 6, then clamp it down. Now you got perfect 6s. The very last thing I did was I took some sandpaper and stuck it here, and that is just so that my workpiece doesn't slide. So I don't even know what this is. 120 grit maybe? I don't know. Whatever the rolly stuff is that already has the sticky part on it, stuck some on there. Now my workpiece, it don't slide. There you go. You do those steps, you will have this jig. And I'm telling you, you're gonna make it. And then you're gonna go to this channel and you're gonna leave me a comment. And you're gonna tell me that I changed your life. Or you'll do like some of the other comments and talk about how I ruined your life. Either way, you'll probably say something, which, hey, I appreciate. As I said, this is an impromptu video, but I get so many questions about this sled that I definitely needed to describe it, because next week I'm putting out a video on how to make picture frames as Christmas gifts. So we're gonna make some really cool frames. This awesome profile here that I love, the swoopy profile, they're gonna look killer. But when we do that, we're gonna use this sled. And I wanted to give you time, in case you wanted to build along with us, you have time to make this sled before that video comes out. Then you're ready to rock and roll, make some frames for Christmas. I hope you liked this video. This really was for you and all the people who are asking questions about this jig. So if you did like it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and more importantly, make the jig. Then tell me if you've got some really cool ways that we can soup this thing up. How can we make this thing better? Let's all work together to make the most awesomest picture frame miter cutting jig we could possibly make. So if you come up with a good idea, leave a comment below on how we can upgrade this thing, put some spinners. Woo! Stay tuned for more videos coming out in the future. Until we meet again, get in your shop and build something awesome.